Hey, my name is Matti. I'm talking here about the radio receiving. Antenna is reciprocal, meaning that it's transmitting and receiving in the same way. But actually in the real application there might be a little bit difference because external noise or additional noises, external noises and things like that. But basically the receiving starts from the antenna and the antenna directivity. So the antenna type and antenna placement is affecting how the antenna is behaving. As an example, we have this old-fashioned radio having a big whip antenna. It's really listening all the direction in the same way. Another example could be house having this typical television antenna, Yagi antenna, which is quite much directive antenna. They are really receiving one direction mainly. In the same way, antenna placement will affect, for example, in the car. If you have an antenna here in the front, it usually tends to make the radio receiving in the front side, or if it's on the back, it actually making the balance on the back side of the car. So these are examples how the antenna is affecting how the receiving the signal. As an example, you can imagine the animals like bird. The bird has eyes on the side of the head, which means that it can actually see very much all the directions. And then if you think about the cat has eyes in the front of the face, so it's really looking mainly on the front direction. In the same way, this radio antenna was listening all the directions, and the TV Yagi antenna was listening on the certain direction. And if you want to improve the TV signal, you actually have to turn the antenna, or cat have to turn the head. Antenna is receiving the signal, but sometimes it's not receiving very well depending how it's located inside the device. So you can think about, in my case, my brains are not really connected to my eyes, which means that I need eyeglasses to fix my eyes. In the same way, in the radio, it could happen that the radio and the antenna are not totally matching together. So actually what the radio designing is doing is that you are creating matching circuitry, which is basically doing the same thing as the glasses are doing my eyesight. So this is called antenna tuning, so really matching the radio to the antenna, and especially when you have embedded antenna, matching the antenna inside the device, because when you are putting the antenna inside the device mechanic, it tends to a little bit shift, which means that you really have to make the tuning to match them together. Sometimes there is some additional noise which are blocking the receiving. For example, you could have an additional flashlight which is blocking your visibility, and in the same way you could have an additional noise source inside the device blocking the radio receiving. So basically, flashlight is blocking the visibility, and the blocking signal, which very often could come inside the device, are blocking the antenna receiving. The way forward is really that you arrange the internal structure in such a way that whatever noise source there is not blocking the receiving antenna. Actually, if the noise source is inside the device, you cannot fix that anymore with the tuning component. This is something you need to think about already in the concept phase, and the antenna designing really have to start on the concept phase when you are making the decision of the component placement and major modules placement on the design.